Hello everyone, and welcome to Island Packet. It's been a little while since I've done a video, and I wanted to do one because I don't like a lot of time going by. I wasn't able to do 43926 because she was bought by some high profile buyers who did not want me videoing their boat. So anyway, here we are at the factory. As you can see, it is early. Some of us get here early, and we have a 349 sitting here in the bay, and she's going to be shipping here relatively soon to Santa Barbara. So as you can tell, they've got the epoxy barrier coat on her, and then depending on how many coats of the epoxy, they'll start on bottom paint. So we're in the loading bay here. We're going to do kind of a tour this morning. We have a number of 349s being built, one 439, and one motor sailor. All right, we're going to start with the fiberglass shop. If I can get in here. Door's a little stuck and I'm a little weak. Okay, so here we are in the original 20,000 square foot fiberglass shop. And we've got cloth there. That's our cutting table for the fiberglass cloth. We use a skin coat that is a regular mat, and then everything else is triaxial woven roving. We built a very thick hull, and you don't have to worry about running aground or stuff like that. Alright, so this is the deck for 43927 that we're currently working on. Let's see if this works better. And that is motor sailor number 2. Both of these boats are the gray stone hull with the gray stone non-skid and the off-white deck. So this boat's in what we call deck prep, and this is where Ron and Josh put on all the exterior hardware except for on the cap rail, and then that goes on after the deck meets the hull. So then this area is called hull prep, and this is where John and his crew, John and Philip, will install the IGU after everything under the IGU is basically installed. You can notice all the Kuza board that we use as our stringer system in the IGU. 43927. Hello, John. And we're gonna walk up here so we can see what's going on. So this is in a stage that we currently call MEP hull prep. So we have the MEPs in here at this point doing all the hoses, all the wires, through hull, strainers, basically everything that goes underneath the IGU, which is the floor of this 439. Happens to be 439 number 27. You can see again the Kuza board that we use around the tanks. So we have a fuel tank here back in the back. We have a water tank in the center, and then our holding tank is forward, and then forward of that is the mouth buster. Anchor locker, again, Kusa board. We use very little plywood on this boat, if any at all. This is our narrow on through hull. This is the first boat that we started using that on. It's always on. Engine mounts, again, Kusa board. Stern view of the rudder shaft has been installed, and we should be finishing this stage here today, if not today, certainly tomorrow. And then this IGU that we have hanging here will be dropped into the hull and will be glassed in everywhere that we can into the hull. And it really basically does form this one piece when we're done. The hull is built to about an inch and a half thick, but as you can imagine, this gives the hull rigidity when this is all glassed in. So every one of these lockers where it meets the hull, like the stringer systems, we will glass it into the hull and then completely all the way around the perimeter. Alright, we have an arch being built here. As you can see, the arch is built in a number of pieces and then put together, bonded, and then finished off. It just certainly wouldn't pull from the mold with, all in one piece. So we've got one exterior piece. It looks like 3 interior pieces, and then we've got pliffs that hold the solar panels on. This is Pavel's area, and he does the tanks for us. You can see a holding tank there. All of our holding tanks are fiberglass. And then he will inspect this for, pressure, holding pressure, and, check it for any leaks. All right, so over here we have the mold for the 439 hull. What you're looking at here in front is the deck or hardtop mold for the Motor Sailor deck. And it has a part in it as well. So we have a mold with a part built, and this is the top, and then this will form the bottom. This is 349. That is finished. The hull is finished. We just haven't pulled it from the mold. Here we have a IGU for 349, which was sprayed on yesterday, and they've done the skin coat, and then they will, after that, they'll continue to build up layers of fiberglass. So you're looking at this upside down on the mold. This is our gel booth. So we have a hydraulically operated, what I call cherry picker, but it's really just a platform that moves around that allows our gel coater to get to all areas of the mold that he's spraying at the time. And then here is a hull side panel that we actually vacuum bag. We vacuum bag some of the smaller parts. This is the original gel booth, and every island packet that's ever been built has been started out in this gel booth. So if you're not an packet owner and you're watching this, remember that your boat started out here as well. Alright, so While I've got your attention, I want to mention that we do have one spot that has opened up. It's a November start, the last of our 2025, and this buyers had to move back because their current boat hasn't sold. Anyway, we're willing to offer a nice pricing opportunity on this slot, and this slot can be used for either a 349, a motor sailor, or a 439. So if you're interested in saving some money, shoot me an email, Darrell, DARRELL @IPY.com, or give us a call. You can call directly on my cell phone, 727-418-8917. All right, so we're going to leave the fiberglass shop, and here we are in tooling, and this is the motor sailor headliner that they're working on here. So what they're doing is they're building the mold that we'll take apart from. And then this is the motor sailor number 1 deck that we've got going on, and we planning on marrying this deck with a hull that you're going to see and set up towards the end of our tour in about 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. And then next to that is an area where we do varnishing, where we do finish, and we do painting in here. This is another 349. This particular 349 is headed to Chicago. So far we've seen 3 349s and our construction, and a 439 and a motor sailor. All right. This area is pretty simple. It's about 5,000 square feet or so. And it sits between the assembly area, which also includes the mill, and the glass shop. We have a big exhaust fan there, so when we're painting, we can, exhaust the air and, not breathe any of the paint fumes. All right, so this is going to take us into the mill. This is another 20,000 square foot building, and we have about half dedicated to the mill, maybe a little bit less. So probably about 8,000 dedicated to the mill, 9,000. And then back in the background there, you see our assembly area, which we have another 349 and a motor sailor under construction there. So as you would expect, we have one of every tool that we, basically made. Sanders, drills, saws of every type, a router back in the back, a bunch of cruiser boards sitting there. This is all solid wood here. We use a lot of solid woods in the boats. Looks like the galley cabinets for the motor sailor number 1 out of light maple. We built all the cabinet doors, all the companionway doors. We do all the corian. You can see a bunch of solid wood over here that he'll be making into different parts. Trying to keep this down to a reasonable amount of time. The dovetail construction of the drawers, the drawer slides that we use. This is the varnish area here, which is right next door to the wood shop, which would make sense, right? And varnish booth here that is a controlled environment that we can do all the small parts in. And they don't have the lights on right now, but with the phone light you can see pretty well. And then we have more parts that have been done or need to be done back here. If you come for a tour, it usually takes about an hour and a half because there's a lot more to explain in person, and I don't know, people ask questions and it just takes that long. This is one of our galley tables and storage area behind it. There's a cabinet out of maple. As you know, we do a light maple as well as a sapelli interior. You get to pick what you want. Here's stairs inside of a boat. Honestly, looks like the motor sailor stairs. You see the nice slope on those? We're going to make them nice and gradual. That looks like stairs for a 349. Lots of solid wood here. Lots of stuff going on. We'll do another video on the 349 that's currently in the loading bay. Nick and I will be going with that boat to Santa Barbara. It'll be our first new boat in California, so we're looking forward to that. This is a 349, and of course the deck is down, so this is in trim stage, and deck we call decking. So decking is when all the exterior hardware goes on, like the stanchions, this rub rail, the track for the reacher, the cleats. It's prepped for an arch. Obviously we don't have lights in the boat yet. So our hull to deck joint is 5,200. Then we do bolts every 6 inches, and then we come back in and we do screws in the rub rail every 6 inches in between where the bolts were. So it really ends up attaching every 3 inches. Here's one of our parts. Finest parts available in every boat, and every screw is slotted the same on the boat. As you can see here, the stanchions are all slotted the same. It just takes an extra second to do that. Here's looking over the mill area. Really nice bow rollers. You know, we build the finest boat that we possibly can. We use the best equipment. We don't compromise on components. We are really trying to build the best boat we can. We've got room here for another 2 boats. The 439 that you saw, and hull prep will be here in about a week once the IGU is glassed in, and we'll start putting bulkheads and cabinets in it as a time that we call setup. And then lastly, we have 42 motor sailor number 1. And this is in setup, so you can see the bulkheads and cabinets are being installed. Forward stateroom. Don't know that I do this without any editing, and it's all completely live. And whatever mistake I make, I really don't have the time to do a lot of editing on these, and I personally believe it's more genuine if we just post it. So this is the guest stateroom. This is the guest head, and as we mentioned, that's the forward stateroom. So we have the bulkheads in. This is a light maple boat. This is the storage cabinet for the guest stateroom, and we can do a washer dryer in this larger area if you want. Okay, you can see that's a nice size bunk. Okay, so this will be all when you walk down below from the salon. Fuse board in the anchor platform. All right, now we're looking at the port side of the forward stateroom. This is the owner's ensuite heads. See that bulkhead right there? The door closes, which gives you an ensuite cabin to the owner's head. You've got good counter space. The toilet will go right here. And then this is a nice stall shower area. And this area back here is all engine room. So you have an access from under the stairs that join the salon to the lower area. And then you have a floor access as well. And then you're going to have an access through the aft lazarette. So you can see that we've got a holding tank here. This boat actually has two 50-gallon holding tanks, one for each head. Completely separate systems. Our 110 horsepower Yanmar. Our battery storage over there. And then we have two 100-gallon fuel tanks. And our generator's right there. It's going to actually be placed right here behind the engine. Not sure why they've got it out of the way. Maybe they're hooking up the shaft and the coupling and stuff, but they put it over there. And then this area back here will all be cockpit. So a really cool engine room on the boat. Guest stateroom over to the port. Ensuite head for the owner's cabin. And then, okay, we're going to walk down the other side of the boat now because that's the only way I can get out of here. This is looking back over the assembly area. And here we are back on Motor Sailor number 1. We are offering some opportunities on the first 5 Motor Sailors we build. So as I mentioned, the guest stateroom. And then everything from this bulkhead here right there aft is engine room or cockpit storage. So, and then this bulkhead aft right here separates the engine room from the cockpit. Okay, batteries, bunches of wire. This is the cockpit area here. And this will all be graded out. And we'll do grading in the engine room as well. These people are getting a water maker. That's the cutout for our side cockpit door. And then we'll have a transom door cut out right there. Okay. Bunches of bolts and nuts and screws. All right. Okay, everybody. That kind of completes our short version of the factory tour. please give me a call or shoot me an email if you're interested in that November spot. And then if you're interested in saving some money on a motor sailor, we'd love to talk to you. All right, everybody, take care and God bless.